Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. Today, I'm going to be doing a few things around here, and I thought, well, it'd be fun to turn the camera on and bring you along. So right here, I'm taking out of the steam canner some more of the mock pineapple done with zucchini. Only this time, I did grated zucchini, and it was from my garden and from a person at work that has zucchini, and she brought in some big ones. So literally you're getting that much meat out of this big giant thing because it's mostly seeds and that very spongy center that you don't want. But I was able to glean this out of it, plus enough to do my zucchini bread that I've been meaning to make for you. And because it's all about stocking my pantry today, it is going to be about stocking my pantry and my freezer. That's part of my pantry. As we all know, we use our freezers, our cabinets, and our, whatever we've got, our shelves to stock our food and keep things going. And as the holidays quickly will be around the corner, once September hits, it's on. It starts so fast. Fall is here, all the pumpkin things, and get in the mood to bake as soon as you have a cool weather day. Soup weather. Don't forget, Souptember is going on right now, so you can start watching those videos. Leanne over at the Mennonite Farmhouse is hosting it, and I'll be doing a video this Friday. So stay tuned. Anyways, so let's go over to the table while these jars cool and sit until tomorrow, and then I can wash them up. And now I have a really nice stock of mock zucchini. I am going to use a jar of the mock zucchini today for you in a recipe. So you'll see how it turns out, and I'll give you a taste test because I made some yesterday. And I thought I didn't have time to turn the camera on. Actually, I did have time, but we are under a kitchen, a whole house renovation, remodel. And so if you look behind the camera, there's a new window in the dining room that's going to be my dining room. But there's walls that aren't completely framed in. There's, the insulation isn't totally in there. We put a new living room window in. So it was very loud. 2 new living room windows in, which will be more energy efficient and beautiful. And so we haven't torn into this section of the kitchen yet, but it's coming. Within a month, we will be ripping this all out too. So my videos are going to change. But I thought, while I've got you, and I have to get my pantry stocked, I've got to get things put in the freezer because I don't know what that's going to bring. If there's going to be a delay on cabinets and countertops, I'm not sure. I'm going to be ready no matter what happens. And so, that being said, I am putting up a couple of things. I'm going to make the zucchini bread to put in the freezer. And while I've got zucchini, because we still have warm weather, I think it's going to be in the 80s today, but cool weather's coming. We've had a couple cool days. Yesterday and the day before were nice and cool, and soup weather. This is for my future baking and cooking, and so I'm also preparing for not having as much availability to eggs. When the neighbor's chickens slow down on laying eggs, I am still going to need eggs to cook with and to bake with. So, and maybe even just to make a quiche or something like that. So I'm going to be putting up some eggs. I'll show you how I do it. All right. And they're going to be duck eggs because I'm lucky enough to have access to duck eggs, and I love baking with duck eggs. So let's go make some zucchini bread and get some duck eggs in the freezer. Come on. And we've already got our mock pineapple done. Now we're ready to make our mock pineapple zucchini bread. And so I have, and it has a lemon base to it, but not strong. I don't want the lemon to be the star of the show. I want the pineapple, or the mock pineapple, which, look how beautiful this is in the jar. And this is the stuff I did for you not too long ago. It is absolutely wonderful. The difference is the texture is not as fibrous as a pineapple, but it still holds its texture. It is not mushy at all. So the first thing I'm going to do is a nice seal on my 4 jars lid, always. And I have a link down below for 4 jars. If you're in need of lids, you should be stocking up. Canning season is year round. So what I'm gonna do is I've got a measuring cup here. Let's get you in the vision, the line of vision, and I'm just gonna drain off as much of the juice as I can. By the time you put the pineapple or the zucchini in there, you don't have a whole lot of juice going in with it, but it's already simmered in that juice, so that's plenty. If I need this, most of the time I use it anyways. If not, I've got to put a little ice cube in there and have a little pineapple juice. I've got these little baking pans I get online. These are the perfect size for a gift, or if there's just two of us, so for us to have one of these, yesterday we shared a piece with my brother-in-law was here helping with the windows, putting them in and framing the walls around them because it was a different configuration. And I shared a piece of this with him. So let's get a fork, and I will give you a little tasty taste, so we can get a preview of what it really tastes like. Now, I am not going to ice these before I freeze them because I don't want the icing to change, if you will. I don't want the icing to change in the freezer. When I pull these out of the freezer in their little containers, I will freeze them. But then I have a gift on the fly too. So this is what the zucchini bread, and I've got raisins in here, golden and dark raisins as well. Today I'm not putting those in, but you can add golden raisins, or I've got the triple raisin blend. And this has a lemon icing on it. It is so moist and so delicious. The lemon is there, but man, so is the pineapple. And the texture of the pineapple, the mock pineapple, you can probably hear it with the mic. It's there. Nobody that has tried this zucchini bread, I've done it in muffins and taken them to work, has known that that wasn't pineapple. They were like, oh, I love the pineapple in there. So I leave it in chunks because they can see it, and that's the base of this recipe. Okay, so because I have to go downstairs and get all my ingredients, I've already got some of my dry ingredients. This is 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup of white sugar, and 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. That is what is in there. Then I need, we're gonna get that mixed up together. And this is how I cook. I use the Danish whisk to get that all mixed in. Now we're gonna need baking soda and baking powder. I want 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And make sure your baking powder is fresh. Okay, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Dum, da-dum. Ooh, we need a little pinch of salt just to balance things. And I forgot to get my salt out, so we'll just do a pinch, which is about, maybe a 1/2 teaspoon, 1/4 of a teaspoon. Oop, that's too much. Okay, there we go. Salt, and I'm using sea salt. Okay, now the other part of our dry ingredients is a package of lemon pudding. Depending on the zucchini bread, depends on the pudding mix that I use. I always put a pudding mix, even though zucchini keeps the bread very moist. This keeps it more like a cake than a bread. It's not dry at all, not one bit. So I'm gonna grab a towel here, bar mop. I see where mine landed. It's over on the counter. Okay. It makes me crazy to have stuff on the counter. Okay. Now I'm going to start with my wet ingredients. After I zest I'm going to zest half of a lemon. And this is not to, it's not to make it lemonier, but I always do this. That skin's a little tougher than I'd like. I just washed it, so it's a little slippery too. My zester, there we go. Get my zest on. I like to watch where I'm going when I'm zesting. Maybe I need a new one. It's losing its edge. So really, it's only about a teaspoon of lemon zest, about half of a large lemon zested. That's all. And I would zest the rest and use the juice in my frosting or my icing. That's always what I do. We're not doing the icing today. It's very simple. It's powdered sugar, lemon juice, and lemon zest. That's it. That's all. Okay, now we're done with the dry. Now let's get to the eggs. I have one duck egg, speaking of duck eggs, and they are tough shelled. Man, so I always break them into a bowl or a container because sometimes I'll get a shell. But look at that big, beautiful yolk. Oh, duck eggs are so wonderful. They're higher in protein and they have a higher water. See, I got a couple of the shattered shells on my hand. Didn't go in the duck egg though. So, and then this is a pullet egg. So this is a small egg from one of the chickens down the road. I didn't need quite 2 duck eggs, but I didn't need, if I was doing chicken eggs, I would use 2 large eggs. I want the equivalent, 2 large eggs. So I didn't need 2 duck eggs. 1 duck egg, 1 pullet egg is perfect. Or like I said, 2 large eggs if you're in the egg. Okay, get that mixed up. And if you guys, maybe I'll bring you in close here in a second. We're going to put our pineapple, or mock pineapple, in. All that goes in. And our zucchini. I have 3 cups of zucchini shredded. So that is going into the mix. And this is where we're going to find out if we need the juice or not, because we have to get this all incorporated, and I can already tell you we're going to need it. We may even need a little bit of buttermilk. You want a batter, but not a dry. Yeah, we're going to need this. That will also add more of the pineapple flavor, and who doesn't want, we want that pineapple flavor more than anything. Okay. And yes, I will need buttermilk. So, not a whole lot though. It's coming together. It usually takes a few minutes to just get it all incorporated. So, let's get the buttermilk and we'll... Okay, so we have vanilla. Measure with your heart. Oh, darn it. Or a teaspoon of vanilla is fine. Okay, I've got my buttermilk that I make from cultured buttermilk. I just keep, as soon as I get down to a cup left, I go ahead and give it some more. So I'm going to measure it off so we have a measurement of how much I end up using. I'm going to measure out a cup of buttermilk. See how nice and thick that is? It's divine. Cultured buttermilk, and I never buy it. I just keep making more. The live cultures in there just reproduce. And we're not going to need a cup, I can tell you that. This is rehydrating this pretty quickly. We're going to probably use a half a cup. We'll try a half a cup, and trust me when I tell you I'll drink the rest. We don't need to put it back. Whoop, back in there. Back. I'm getting... Okay, Can you see? I want you guys to kind of get an idea of the consistency. So it's a wet batter. Oh, there's my oven. I preheat this oven to 375. You could try 350. It takes about 45 minutes, even in these smaller pans. A big, thick loaf pan would take an hour. So this is the consistency I want. Just like that. It's a batter, okay? And if I was doing the recipe I did yesterday, or the day before, I guess I did, I put raisins in there. So I use a combination of golden, black raisin, or dark raisins and red raisins. So it's a triple raisin blend that I get, but that store is about 40 minutes away, so I'm not going to the store to get those. So we're going to do it without the raisins. It's strictly just going to be the pineapple, but you do you. If you want to put nuts in here, you can, but I really want it to be about the pineapple. Okay, let's get a spatula to clean that out when I need to scrape the bowl. And we'll just fill up all these pans, and you're going to fill them about, let's see, about, oh, nope, we need a little bit more. And I try to do them even each, I've got them sprayed with some cooking spray, and we should be able to do that. So that raisins obviously add more volume to this recipe, so I'm probably not going to get the amount, because typically I put about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of raisins. So I need more in that one, and more in this one. And they can be up above the top a little bit, because the little lid that comes with that will allow me to cover it still. So let's get that. Scrape your bowl. Don't waste any. You paid for all of it. I thought that was still over here. Okay, and then we'll get these in the oven, and then we'll get on our eggs. Okay, so now I'm just getting my bags ready. So I like to, these are the WeVac bags, and I have a link down below for the WeVac, as well as a coupon code. So you can get 10% off, and I love it. I've had plenty of vacuum sealers in the past, and none of them compare to this one. I can vacuum seal liquids, which is what I'm going to be doing, because I'll be scrambling these eggs. But this is putting eggs back in the freezer for when egg production slow down. If I had my own chickens, it'd be the same thing. I've always done this. So this is nothing new to me. I just now, I don't want it to get, the middle of winter, and I've got no eggs, and they don't have any eggs to share or sell, and yeah, then what? So I'm going to put these bags together, and these, I just got some more from them today, but these are the oldest ones I have, which are like a week old, two weeks old maybe, so we're okay. And I'll be breaking them individually, so the worst thing that can happen, well, I will break them individually, because I don't want to ruin 2 eggs if 1 egg is bad, okay? I don't want to throw 2 out. And I would probably do a scramble for the dogs, but let's grab a little dish to crack them in. Hopefully that's big enough, because these duck eggs are big. And now I want a paper towel to catch all my shells. Okay, and they're big, their shells are thick, like I said earlier. Oh boy, beautiful. So we have a beautiful duck egg. Look at the size of that yolk. That's awesome. Okay, that is going in my measuring cup. Boop. And then I'll get another one. And the oldest eggs are on top. Whenever I fill that, I take all the eggs out and put the oldest ones back in on top. So I use them first. So this is an older egg, but beautiful. Yolks are holding together just beautifully. So 2 eggs per pouch. If I only need 1 egg for a recipe, I will divide this. Right now I've got 3/4 of a cup of egg. So I'll just have to divide it in half. And you'll have to excuse my extension cord. You're just going to want to scramble them up. And good thing we have the paper toweling. And I'll probably get another couple of paper towels here for that. And hopefully the air is being canceled out because I had to turn the portable air conditioner on. It's getting warm in here with the oven and everything else. So literally put them in the bag. Doop. And if I could think of a recipe that I had, 3 eggs that I needed, I would do that. But these are actually going to go in just like that. They will vacuum seal flat, and I'm sticking them in my little basket that I take up and down the stairs, just like that. And we're gonna keep on cracking eggs. Don't fall over. That is not okay. So this little gadget and gizmo, I've seen these a lot. I wasn't quite sure if I needed one, but I really do. I really did. I like it. It holds my bags open, and not just these, but Ziploc bags, any of that. So I got these on Amazon. Let's get that duck egg in here. I'll show you one more. Not that you need to see that, but whoo, look at that. And that shell did break the yolk. That's okay. It looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. I just get a little overzealous poking the shell inside, and I'm not careful because I'm not trying to do a sunny side up egg. I'm curious to see if we get more than 3/4 of a cup or less. That one's a little less than 3/4. It's more like 2/3 of a cup, which 2/3 of a cup is probably what I'll choose to use for a duck egg recipe. I want to get that yolk off my fingers as soon as possible. All right, so we're just gonna waz it up again. And done. And it's ready for recipes. All right, I'll get this all done and I'll meet you downstairs. Okay guys, I am done. I am taking the last bag of duck eggs out of the Weevac. So this is the package. Instead of those big eggs to have to, and you can only store them for so long. So what do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 eggs, 16 duck eggs. Let's put it in a perspective here. I'll lay them down on something that'll hold them flat for you to see. And I did want to tell you, I'm still drying the corn husks down here on the table. And this morning, they're almost dry. This morning, I was in here and I thought, oh, you know what? I want to rehydrate one of those because they look so tiny and curled up. And I'm like, I need to rehydrate one of those. And one of these I put on the wrong setting, so it's got air in it. So we'll use that one first. I might even use that before. Anyway, But as you can see, this is my stack of 16 duck eggs. So these will go in the freezer, laying down. That one, like I said, that top one has some air in it. I hit the wrong button by accident. Woo! But literally 16 eggs are on the ready to go in the freezer, lay flat, and they'll freeze for me, and they'll be for future baking when the eggs are a little bit harder to come by. Sorry, a little bit harder to come by. But I want to tell you, I was looking at these and I was like, how is that going to roll a tamale? I need to rehydrate a couple of these and see how flexible and how they really did. Because, you know, every corn husk is different. I rehydrated this in some warm water for a couple hours, and look at that. That will fold a tamale and wrap it just fine. I'm so excited. So I'm re-drying this one, but I did a couple of them. I am super excited. I hope that it inspires you to not to waste anything. Go ahead and save your corn husks if you're putting corn up. And if you've got extra eggs, oh my goodness, put them away for winter. And you could put them in, they've got freezer cubes. You could put them in freezer cubes, freeze them first, and then vacuum seal them. And maybe I'll do that next time, but this is gonna stack up nice and neat and thin in my freezer for later use. And I'm gonna do some chicken eggs as well. So, as always, guys, I can't wait to see you next time. I hope it inspires you, and I hope that this video was useful and you get some wonderful information. Let's go see how the bread came out. Okay, so it's the end of the video. The bread came out beautiful. It was a little loftier because I didn't have quite the amount, and these are still very warm. It took 40 minutes, actually 43. And a toothpick comes out clean. I'm gonna leave these cool. And because they kind of spread out on the top where that lid will go down, I kind of pushed them in while they're cooling, and then I can pull that back out a little bit to get that lid in place and crimp it down, and then it'll freeze just fine. So I hope it inspires you to put some stuff back on the pantry shelf, bake some breads for later to save you some time in the kitchen, and get those eggs stowed back, because the months are coming when eggs are not going to be as available if you're depending on fresh eggs from a local farmer or a local source. And I personally, I can't eat an egg at a restaurant or buy eggs unless they are pasture raised, and I'm positive they're pasture raised. It just, for some reason, they're anemic and they just don't taste right after having good fresh eggs for so long, for years and years. And since I have chickens and all that, but when I did buy eggs or have to buy them, I bought, I think they were the Happy Eggs that are pasture raised. And then there's another brand out there that comes in a black carton that are pasture raised, and they're wonderful. So you can tell. Okay. All right, looks like the dogs are gonna bark at the neighbors, and I'm gonna get off of here. And I forgot to pay for my eggs this morning. I reached in my pocket and there was the money, so I need to go take him some money, an empty egg carton, and some goodies for the chickens. All right, see you soon. Bye.